Howdy, y'all. Welcome back. Today, we have an incredible look at the original, unaltered, unadulterated Papyrus of Ani, or Ani, sometimes referred to as the Book of Going Forth by Day, by Light, but better known as the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Interestingly, each Book of the Dead is different. They were created uniquely for each individual based off that person's life. So no one set of parameters distinguishes one Book of the Dead as the official or accurate one over another. Depending on the kingdom and time period within Egyptian history, the funerary rites described in the book could vary greatly. However, this particular version of the Book of the Dead, the Papyrus of Ani, is considered to be the most complete, the most complex, and the most detailed version of the Book of the Dead which has survived from antiquity into modern times. The Papyrus of Ani was allegedly created during the 19th dynasty of the New Kingdom, or roughly the year 1250 BC. The Papyrus of Ani, as do all Egyptian funerary scrolls, contains what are said to be spells and incantations for the pursuit of the afterlife, and this papyrus was created for the scholar and scribe Ani from Thebes. It is composed of what are called cursive hieroglyphics, so the curses are in cursive. It also contains what are some of the most detailed color illustrations of ancient Egypt that have survived until our present day. That being said, we will scroll through the entire papyrus, hoping to decipher any anomalies that catch our eye. Remarkably, the Papyrus of Ani was supposedly only discovered by chance in the year 1888. The city was Luxor, and the underground antiquities trade market was booming. We're told the Papyrus of Ani, now considered to be the most detailed Egyptian Book of the Dead in the world, was actually smuggled out of the tomb of Ani at an unknown time and was in possession of the illegal traders in Luxor. Around the year 1888, it was discovered in these markets by Britain's E.A. Wallace Budge. According to the narrative, shortly after Budge first saw the papyrus, several Egyptian police officers discovered the underground market in Luxor. They shut it down and confiscated the ancient artifacts, which were then stored in nearby homes that were sealed shut and put on guard. One of these homes contained the Papyrus of Ani. As wild as it sounds, we're told that E.A. Wallace Budge then hired locals who were familiar with the territory to tunnel into the homes from below, from underground, and sneak out the artifacts. All the while, Budge himself was said to have created a distraction for the guards. This sounds like the story of a movie, so it may come as no surprise that Budge was very much the inspiration for the movie character Indiana Jones. But I digress. The Papyrus of Ani and other objects Budge had acquired through somewhat questionable means were then smuggled out of Egypt to the principal libraries of the British Museum. Budge was paid approximately 150 British pounds for his, quote, service, which would be equivalent to roughly 25,000 pounds or 31,000 American dollars today. Miraculously, the Papyrus of Ani found its way through the museum system and still survives intact today. However, other artifacts of ancient Egypt were not so lucky. From the beginning of the Egyptology craze circa the early 19th century, following Napoleon's expedition into Egypt, we have countless examples of artifacts which, when not properly handled or documented, eventually became destroyed or lost, or even worse, they were held in the archives of private collections where the history remains untold. For me, I have never had the chance to see an Egyptian Book of the Dead in its entirety before, and I definitely have never seen such an intricate example of color illustrations from the ancient world before. So to imagine the story of Ani, how this book was more like his life story than anything else. It followed his path, and then it described what he needed to do to achieve the afterlife. We can see a side in this book of ancient Egyptian life which we have seldom had the opportunity to dive into before. It fascinates me that the Egyptian books are formulated specifically to each individual, and these wonderful scrolls appear to be much more like ancient obituaries for the honored members of Egyptian culture than anything spooky or nefarious. It was with great intrigue that I present the Papyrus of Ani with you today, and we will scroll through this wonderful piece of ancient Egypt, allowing you to view all sections and formulate your own opinions. About 1/3 of the way into this video, we will then jump and begin to look through my entire collection of the first photographs ever taken in Egypt, which I have acquired over the last 6 months or so. We will have images which are considered by the mainstream to be the first images of multiple different locations throughout Egypt, meaning in these photographs, we will see the monuments and architecture of Egypt photographed for the first time in history. These images will be dated mainly to the 1840s, the 1850s, the 1860s, and the 1870s. The photographs will vary, but a large section of the images shown will be from the collection of Francis Frith and the brothers Beto, Felix, and Antonio. Furthermore, we will have numerous other photographs from other artists whose entire collections did not survive until today. These one-off images are often so interesting it makes me wonder what the rest of these photographs in the collections that did not survive really looked like. That being said, this will be the most complete and dense collection of photographs of Egypt that I have put together for you yet. It will be the culmination of the last few months of my research, and if you've been with my channel for a while, you may be familiar with some of the images you see. However, this will be my first video putting all of the images of Egypt together in one location, and I feel this will better allow you to save the images to your collection and use them to further your own research and deep dives into Egypt. Researching Egypt is a never-ending task full of shifting opinions, amazing and breathtaking architecture, and a seemingly impossible code which has been pushed across most of the narrative. Yet, when we find photographs like this, it makes the research worthwhile, and hearing all your opinions about ancient Egypt will only help others in the field doing their own studies and to spark their own interests. So I'd love to hear all of your thoughts down below, whether about Egypt, the old world, or any of the specific photographs shown in the second half of this video. If you want to talk about the Papyrus of Ani, the beautiful and most complex Egyptian Book of the Dead in existence today, I would love to hear about it. Any opinion? Share it down below. I thank you all so much for being here today. If you'd like to reach out to me or to support my channel more directly, there is a link in my YouTube profile. We've been making such big strides into the deepest part of the historical record, and finding these photographs really might change the world. So stick around, save any image that stands out to you, and I can't wait to hear your opinion on today's subjects down below. I will talk to you all on the next video. Here we will begin the collection of the first photographs ever taken of Egypt. I have compiled them all from my other videos into one larger collection here for you to view and for you to save. We're looking at the 1840s in Egypt, the 1850s, 1860s, and the 1870s. These photographs will come to us from some of the most prestigious photographers of the 19th century, including Francis Frith and Felix and Antonio Beto. But the larger, overarching theme of this collection is the architecture itself, which is so unique and stands out from the rest of the old world. It's so imperative that these photographs be seen by anyone who's looking to understand our history. So I will leave it at that. I will chime out now. Enjoy this collection. Please reach out to me in the comment section, and I will talk to you on the next video very soon.